Welcome back, everyone, to day 12 of our daily challenge. I'm Lili.
And I'm Ethan. Today, we are diving into a topic that I am personally very guilty of indulging in. We are talking about e-commerce and shopping online.
Oh, Ethan, don't tell me. Did you do it again?
Do what?
You know exactly what I mean. Midnight scrolling, the dangerous habit of lying in bed, opening a shopping app, and buying things you absolutely do not need at 2 a.m.
Okay, listen, in my defense, that automatic cat laser toy was on a lightning deal. It had a huge countdown timer, Lili. It said only 3 left in stock. What was I supposed to do? Let my imaginary cat miss out?
Exactly. You fell right into the trap. And that is precisely why this topic is so fascinating. Online shopping has completely transformed how we spend our money, how businesses operate, and even how our brains experience rewards.
It really has. From the early days of being terrified to put our credit card numbers into a website, to now buying groceries, clothes, and tech with a single facial recognition scan. So, whether you are listening to improve your English, to understand customer behavior, or to get some tips for your own online business, we've got a fantastic episode lined up for you today.
Let's start by looking at the big picture, Ethan. E-commerce isn't just a trend anymore. It is the backbone of global retail. But it's interesting how different parts of the world approach it.
Right. You basically have 2 massive strategies dominating the globe right now. On one side, you have the Western model, which is heavily focused on convenience and speed. Think of Amazon. Their whole obsession is reducing friction. They want you to think of a product, click a button, and have it at your doorstep within 24 hours.
Yes, the Prime effect. It has completely ruined our patience. If a package takes more than 3 days to arrive now, we feel like it's lost in the mail. We want instant gratification.
Exactly. But then, on the other side, you have the Eastern model, which has been rapidly taking over lately. Companies like Alibaba, and more recently, ultra-fast platforms like Shein and Temu, their strategy isn't necessarily about speed, it's about discovery and entertainment.
Oh, definitely. It's what experts call discovery shopping or gamified e-commerce. You don't open those apps because you actually need a specific item. You open them because the algorithm shows you an endless feed of super cheap, trendy things tailored perfectly to your taste. It feels like playing a game.
It really does. It has changed shopping from a task, like going to the supermarket because you ran out of milk, into a form of recreation. People don't go to physical malls on Saturdays as much anymore. They just scroll through shopping feeds while watching TV.
Now, let's talk about the phrases and psychological triggers behind that digital shopping cart. Because online stores don't just display products, they use serious behavioral engineering to make us buy.
Oh, I am the perfect victim for these. What's the first one on your list, Lili?
The first one is scarcity and urgency, also known as FOMO, the fear of missing out. When you see text that says, only 2 items left in stock, or deal expires in 10 minutes, your brain panics. Rational thinking shuts down and impulse buying takes over.
That is exactly what happened with my cat toy. I saw that little red progress bar showing the stock running out, and my heart rate actually went up. It's crazy. What's the next trigger?
The second one is social proof. Think about it, Ethan. When was the last time you bought a product online that had 0 reviews or a 2-star rating?
Never. I won't even buy a $5 phone case without reading at least 3 reviews and looking at pictures uploaded by real customers.
Precisely. We trust the opinions of absolute strangers more than we trust the brand's marketing copy. That's why user-generated content, star ratings, and review sections are the most valuable asset any e-commerce website can have.
And the third one, which is perhaps the most dangerous for our bank accounts, is zero friction checkout.
Yes! Remember the old days? You had to stand up, find your wallet, pull out your credit card, manually type in the 16-digit number, the expiration date, and the security code. That whole process gave your brain time to pause and think. Wait, do I really need this?
Now, with digital wallets, Apple Pay, or Amazon's one-click ordering, the money is gone before your brain even realizes you made a decision. It is dangerously efficient.
Let's flip the coin for a moment. Instead of looking at it as consumers, let's look at it from a business perspective. If our listeners want to start an online store, what are the actual options out there? Because e-commerce isn't just one thing.
Right. There are a few major business models that dominate the space today. Let's break down the main four.
First up, we have the traditional B2C, business to consumer, with inventory. This is where you manufacture or buy products in bulk, store them in your garage or a warehouse, and ship them out yourself when someone buys from your website.
The advantage here is control. You control the quality, the packaging, and you get the highest profit margins. The downside? You need a lot of upfront capital to buy the inventory, and managing shipping can become a massive headache.
Absolutely. Then the second model, which became incredibly popular over the last decade, is dropshipping.
Ah, yes. With dropshipping, you act as the middleman. You set up an online storefront and list products, but you don't actually own any inventory. When a customer buys from your site, you automatically purchase the item from a third-party supplier, usually based in Asia, and they ship it directly to the customer.
It sounds like the perfect business because your upfront financial risk is almost zero, but the challenges are real. The profit margins are usually very slim, shipping times can take weeks, and if the supplier sends a broken product, you are the one who has to deal with an angry customer.
Exactly. Which brings us to the third model, D2C, or direct-to-consumer. These are digitally native brands that focus heavily on building a community. They design a specific, high-quality product, tell a great story on social media, and sell directly to their audience without any retail middlemen.
I love D2C brands. They usually have amazing branding and customer service. The only catch is that digital advertising costs have skyrocketed. So getting people to notice your independent website requires a serious marketing budget.
And finally, you have marketplace selling. Instead of building your own website, you list your products on established giants like Amazon, eBay, or Etsy. You get instant access to millions of shoppers, but you have to pay high commission fees and follow their strict rules.
So, Ethan, where do we go from here? Because technology isn't slowing down. What does the future of online shopping look like?
2 words, Lily: live shopping and social commerce. This is already a multi-billion-dollar industry in Asia, and it's taking over the West. Imagine watching a live stream on TikTok or Instagram where a creator is trying on clothes or testing gadgets in real time. If you like what you see, you just tap a button on the screen and buy it instantly without ever leaving the app.
It completely blurs the line between entertainment and commerce. Another huge shift is artificial intelligence acting as a personal shopper. Instead of typing generic words into a search bar, you will just chat with an AI. You'll say, "Hey, I have a beach wedding to attend next month. My budget is $100 and I prefer light colors." The AI will analyze your style, your size, and put together the perfect outfit for you.
That sounds incredibly convenient. And let's not forget augmented reality, AR. Being able to see how a sofa looks inside your actual living room through your phone camera before hitting buy, or virtually trying on a pair of glasses. It removes the final barrier of e-commerce, which is not being able to physically touch the product.
It truly is a brave new world. Well, guys, that brings us to the end of day 12.
Before we go, here is your shadowing challenge for today. We want you to practice this specific key phrase. I try to avoid impulse buying when shopping online, but zero friction checkout makes it too easy. Listen to how Lily says it. Pause the audio and repeat it out loud.
Let's do it one more time. I try to avoid impulse buying when shopping online, but zero friction checkout makes it too easy. Let us know in the comments what your funniest or most random late-night online purchase was. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and we will see you tomorrow for day 13. Bye, everyone.